Work from home jobs offer a lot of flexibility, but the remote job market is also full of scams. My name is Bree Reynolds, and I'm the Senior Career Specialist at FlexJobs, a job search site that identifies, screens, and posts legitimate remote jobs. And I'm here to talk to you about how to identify whether or not a job posting is a legitimate remote job, with 5 key things to look for. So let's get started. The first is never pay for a job or a company to interview you for a remote job. Oftentimes scammers will ask you to pay money up front in order to land their supposed remote job. And they often do that in terms of asking you to pay for equipment or software or training that you need to land this supposed remote job. Legitimate companies do not ask you to pay for things like that, and they will not ask you to invest in some way to get the job. They are going to either provide you with specific equipment or tell you what the equipment is that you need, but they are not going to ask you to pay for your training or to pay for some software that you need, or even to pay to secure your role in their company. So that's a big red flag, is to never pay a fee to a job or a company to get one of their jobs. The next thing is to watch out for companies that don't do phone or video interviews. Remote jobs are real jobs, the ones that are legitimate. They will do real job interviews. They're going to be interviewing you over the phone or video. In some cases, they're interviewing you in person, but very seldom will they actually interview you over instant messenger or online chat. A lot of scammers, however, will interview you that way. And so it's really important, if you're presented with an opportunity to interview that way, to do a lot of research on that company and that job before you jump onto that interview. There are a handful of companies that I've heard of that do interviews this way, like Amazon for their online chat support jobs, and also Automatic, because most of the work that that company does is over online chat when they're working together as a team. But other than that, there are maybe a handful that I've heard of, and the rest of them are usually scammers offering people to do instant messenger interviews. One of the key ways that you can tell is when you jump on the instant messenger interview, you are offered the job really quickly. You're not actually asked a lot of real job interview questions about your qualifications or your skills, and you're also usually urged to accept the job very fast. They don't want you to think about it, they want you to just act. So watch out for those instant messenger interviews and try to stick with companies that do phone and video interviews for remote jobs, or at the very least, do your research before hopping onto those online chat interviews. The next thing is to look at a detailed job description. You want to see a detailed job description for a remote job. That's a sign that it's legitimate. Those real remote jobs will offer you key things that you need to know, just like any other job. The qualifications, the requirements, the preferred requirements, things like that, the skills that you need, and they'll actually describe the actual work that you're going to be doing. A scam job will give you a very vague job description. They will talk a lot about the benefits of the job and what it has to offer you in terms of money and little work for lots of money, small schedules, things like that. So it's really important to pay attention to the job description, and if you see something that's very vague or that doesn't really describe the work that you'd be doing, or if it has lots of grammatical errors or exclamation points and dollar signs and strange punctuation, or it's talking about the salary information and all of that, but it's not talking about what you would actually be doing, that's a big red flag. The fourth thing I wanted to mention is researching the companies that you want to apply for. This is really important. It's really easy to figure out if you're dealing with a potential scam by searching for the word scam and the company or job title. You will come up with news stories, FBI and FTC reports, Better Business Bureau ratings, and even online chat from other people who may have been scammed by this type of job or company. So it's really important to do a very simple search to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and staying away from those scams. And then the next thing is, if you do come in contact with the company and you're talking to someone at that company, ask a lot of questions. Ask them, why did this position become available? And what are the key qualifications? What are they looking for in this type of person? Ask them about their actual company. How long have you been in business? Who are some of your clients? Anything that will give you more details or that will kind of scare the scammer because they don't have answers to your questions. And so it's important to do that sort of questioning if you're a little bit concerned that you might have a scam, because that can help you identify for sure if it is a scam or not. Just remember in this process to trust your gut and listen to your instincts. So many times when I talk to people who have been scammed, they'll say that there was some point in the process where they didn't feel right about things, something was strange, the way the recruiter was acting or the way the company was difficult to find online, but they kept going because they wanted to get a job and they wanted to believe it was true. And so for yourself, if you have those gut feelings that something's not right, stop and do some research and walk away if you need to. There are plenty of real remote jobs out there, and it's far better to walk away from one that you're not really sure about, whether it could be a scam or a legitimate job, and go and find one that is really a true remote job that is not a scam. So that's what you need to do. Trust your gut, and remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I'm Bree Reynolds with FlexJobs.